Here we have verse 34, the last verse of the 20th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew, completing the story of the two blind men who interrupted the trip that Jesus was making through Jericho to Jerusalem, crying out, "Son of David, have mercy on us." Jesus stopped, of course, summoned them, asked what they wanted. They asked that they could receive their sight. And on that basis, we have this concluding remark now, provided by Matthew splachnistheis from splachnidzomai. Splachna is, of course, the word for compassion. This is in the aorist passive. It's a participle, so having been moved with compassion is the way we typically bring it over. It's masculine, singular, nominative, thus it accompanies the subject of the sentence in the nominative, which in this case is Jesus. So the Jesus, postpositive da, but Jesus having been moved with compassion, hapsato, this is from haptomai. Hapto means to kindle a fire. The middle voice carries with it the idea of touching, but touching with a kind of peculiar drama connected to it. And so he touched. This is the reference to the eyes here. Unusual tone, homatone. We'd expect this to be ophthalmos, the normal word for eyes. This is actually a word that means sight. Homa, or oma rather, means sight. So he touched their sight. It's only used one other time in the New Testament over in Mark, giving an account of a similar story. So he touches their capacity to see, really. It's a little more profound than simply touching their eyes. Autun, this is autone, the possessive pronoun here in the genitive masculine plural. So having been moved with compassion, he touched the eyes, or the sight, really, the capacity of sight of them. Kai eutheos, the declinable adverb, means immediately. Anablepson, from anablepto, I look up, literally. Commonly used in the New Testament for receiving sight, third person plural, aorist active indicative. Anablepson, they looked up, or they received their sight. Kai akalutheson, from akalutheo, follow. Again, same thing, it's the third person plural, aorist active indicative, and they followed auto, him. Really a little highlight of the notion of immediate discipleship as he gives them their sight. The first impulse they have is to follow him. And of course, we can imagine that Matthew is hoping that we'll see a little bit of a lesson in discipleship in this account of the impact of this healing on these two blind men.